Hello.
Yeah, trying to get off mute every week.
Oh no.
I don't see that pop-up box.
I was saying do you consent to be recorded or whatever?
Yeah. I think it pops up on the Zoom window. It's dark, so it's really hard to see it.
Interesting. Yeah, in the web browser it's pretty obvious. Like using the web client.
Is it on at the top?
Well, it's a modal that
I see.
blocks the whole meeting until you say yes to it.
Yeah, this is not like a Zoom window is like separate, like the video window. Yeah.
That's unfortunate.
Yeah, it's just a little confusing. I go through the same thought every week. It's like, why is it not unmuting? Oh, I need to click on this button. Rita said she's going to be a female slate.
Okay, cool. I had brunch over in Pacifica.
Oh, nice. Where did you go?
Pacifica Brewing. They have a.
Oh yeah, that's pretty cool. Yeah, I like it. That there's like an outdoors area in the back.
Yeah.
It near the bowling alley, right?
Yeah, like same parking lot.
Yeah. They also set up outdoor drive-in movies there in that parking lot.
Really?
Yeah.
Do they like set up a screen or is there
they have like a screen? Or? It's like a inflatable screen. I think it's called Beach Break Entertainment or something like that. Yeah, we did that a few times. It was pretty fun. Yeah, beachbreakentertainment.com.
I remember the old like drive-in theaters where you would take the speaker and just like hang it on the inside of your car.
And then in this case, it's like you have to turn the radio station to the correct frequency, and then it just uses the car's things. Yeah,
that's probably more convenient and maybe higher quality.
Well, depending on the car.
Yeah, that's true.
The stereo, I guess. Yeah.
I mean, stereo right there, right? That beats out the mono.
That's true. What did you add in the Pacific Brewery? They have like burgers are good, I think. The fish and chips and then pizza, they don't get.
They had like a huevos rancheros Benedict.
Oh, nice.
That was good. I haven't seen anything like that ever. It was nice.
Cool. I don't think I had that over there. They have really good beer too in the past.
Yeah. The beer was nice.
When did you go? Recently or over the weekend?
Yeah, over the weekend. Just sort of saw it there and was like, oh, that seems like a easy thing to do.
Yeah.
You know?
Me and Rita, we went to the dog surfing championship over there. If we knew you were in the area, we would have met up. Yeah, there was a dog surfing on one Saturday or Sunday. I think Saturday.
How do they get the dogs?
Good question.
Out there?
So there's like two different types of it. One is like just the dogs on the surfboard. So like somebody is like in the ocean, they put the dogs on the surfboard, and there is like a 1 to 3 dogs, like up to 3 dogs I've seen. They can be on the surfboard, and then they just basically like they let it go, and then they surf. And then the other one that I saw was a human and a dog at the same time.
Huh.
Yeah, and then human sometimes like does like tricks, they like jump or like roll, that sort of stuff.
And the dog's just like, yeah, this.
Yeah, the dogs are cool. Yeah, sometimes I think one of the dogs was every time there was the wave coming, the dogs would do like a 360 on the board. So it was like pretty fun.
Somehow I don't think they're gonna have a cat surfing competition anytime soon.
I don't think so. I don't think they want to get wet. Hey, we were just talking about the dog surfing.
Oh, yeah.
Max was in the Pacifica Brewery over the weekend.
You mean we could have been there all at the same time?
Yeah.
Shame.
Was that like this weekend? The
Yeah,
dog
this-
surfing?
this
Yeah,
past-
we were there on Saturday. Yeah.
Oh wow.
I brought my dog and everything.
Well, I'm
Because
not far
dog
from
didn't surf.
Pacifica, like regardless.
Huh?
I'm not far from Pacifica regardless.
Oh, well,
Yeah,
good
next
to
time.
know. So no agenda today, huh?
No agenda.
All right, fun times.
Just a hidden one.
Hidden one? Where?
Well, it's hidden.
Oh, okay. Funny dude. There is a question I tagged you guys on. If you don't mind, maybe we can look at that first.
Yeah, what's the question?
Hold on, trying to contact switch. I think it's in library. Maybe you already answered. I just haven't seen it.
Issue or a
214. 214.
Yeah.
PR.
In library?
Yeah, I just linked it.
Oh,
So the TLDR there is this person used a OPA function that's available only after gatekeeper 3.9, and therefore it doesn't work on 3.8. So the question now is like, well, do we just like comment those out for this is only applicable for the BAT E to E, right? Because it's
Right.
a real cluster.
Oh,
So do we want to just like maybe comment that out for now until we're fully on 3.9, because 3A is technically still in support for like the next month and a half.
yeah. I mean, so there's an ignore directive.
Yeah.
Right. Well,
yeah,
I guess the BATS test
he
is
added
just running
the-
underneath everything.
I think he
but-
added the skip thing. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
The question is, should we do it or not? Not how we do it, but is that
But-
okay?
But the template also has that OPA function, right?
The template.
So the
Yeah.
Rego
Yeah,
code.
yes,
So
yes.
if somebody would
Yes.
take this template as
Yes,
is and then
that's
puts it
right.
on 3.8, it wouldn't work.
That's right.
Yeah,
That's why this needs a discussion.
That's a good call.
Yeah, I mean, so, and
It
this
won't be
is
the first time it won't be the last time that we're going to talk about this for sure.
right, and in some ways, the support window is kind of moot, right? Because the thing that's actually going to happen here, right, is people are going to try to apply this constraint template, and it's going to fail,
Yep.
and they're going to ask why, right? And not all of those people will be even as recent as 3.8, right?
That's true.
So I guess there's two questions. One, do we feel bound by the support window in terms of like what goes into the template library? And the other side of it is I think we have a missing feature in the template library that basically informs people of version requirements. In addition to like, versioning the individual templates in terms of like contents of the source code, so people who've copied them can like easily check if there's a newer version. Surtesh, you contacted me a while ago. There's someone interested in doing library stuff.
Oh yeah. This is for like the organization and the website and then the CLI, like for later on.
Yeah, did they get in contact with the person on my end that I knew?
I don't think so, not yet, but I'll have to double check. But last time I spoke to him, like he didn't.
He was on the call last week and then he disappeared.
Yeah, I
Ah,
think he was expecting the other person you gave the name to be on the call also. But yeah, I asked him if he can reach out over email.
okay, yeah, because I think they have contact information. I haven't
Yeah,
followed up.
I gave
Anything's happened.
the information you gave them. Yeah.
Okay. Cool. Well, the minimum version stuff and all of
Yep.
that seems like a good thing for them to be aware of.
Might be a
But-
good first issue to attack.
Yeah. Also, I mean, just I guess like the baseline is like just adding like a README, right? So something like, hey, this is only supported from this one. But I think maybe over time, do we want to add like a special field? So like the gatekeeper can reject the constraint template, like, hey, this is not compatible with the current version or something.
Like an annotation, maybe?
Yeah, something like that. So today we have like a description. What happens if we have like a, I don't know, min gatekeeper version, or I don't know, something. So we could like block it immediately because we know that whatever Rego thing got introduced in OPA version thing, and then we know what that corresponds to.
Yeah, and that might help if there's, something that's not necessarily a compilation failure, but a difference in behavior.
Yep.
Like, I don't know if that has existed in the past. I think OPA has definitely like changed how their language has worked slightly after like looking for usages of the thing they're changing in the past. But
Yeah. And then we had this issue with future keyword also.
Oh, right. Yeah.
But it's not the first time, that's happening.
I'm just thinking about, so for the most part, that's showing up, and it's not the most user-friendly UX, but at the very least, there is an error. I'm wondering if too this would address cases where things just silently wouldn't work correctly, which.
But I think it would be silent, right? So like they wouldn't know, hey, did this like template work or not, unless they check the logs.
Wait, what would be silent? The future stuff, or was silent?
Yes. Say somebody installed the template with the futures keyword. Would Gatekeeper flat out decline the template, or it would ingest it, but then in the logs it would say, hey, this is not supported?
So it would never ingest it and only report in logs. It would show up in the status field of the template for sure. Historically, we avoided compilation as part of the webhook just for like latency reasons. I think with the performance changes PR, we now compile inside of the template, or sorry, inside of as part of the admission request for admitting a template. I wouldn't necessarily want to bank on that always existing because live compiling seems like a tall order to like always do, right?
Yeah, so my point was if you have like a min version thing in the constraint template, like an annotation or something we can check, then we can just flat out decline that, like, hey, this is not compatible.
Yeah, I'm not against it, to be clear. None of what I was saying was like tending against it. I was just wondering what other things it might help with.
So maybe we can create an issue then. Let me put it on.
And it would be constraint framework, probably like constraint framework version that we would want, because of like Gator test, right, and other places that use constraint framework, then that's the thing that's compiling the templates.
That's right. Should I create it on the frameworks repo then?
Yeah, I think so. I think that makes sense.
Okay.
So sounds like annotation for minimum constraint framework version is the one option that you guys discussed, right?
Yeah.
Okay. What about your initial question, like, are we bounded by supported gatekeeper versions?
I would like to think the library is separate personally. Like, I think that's a harder argument to make without all this versioning metadata, right? Because then we don't have any way to communicate that nuance to users, right? That there is this like version flex and they're less equipped to scroll through the commit history to find something, some version of a pre-existing template that may work, assuming we've updated it.
I guess practically for library, because we only test things against the supported gatekeeper versions, it's sort of implied that they are meant for supported gatekeeper versions because we don't test older stuff.
For sure. Yeah, and I wouldn't want to like put perpetual backwards compatibility handcuffs
Yeah.
on us for the library. So I guess the question is the question more to this specific thing of where we're splitting 1.8 and 1.9 or whatever we're at?
3.8, 3.9.
3.8, 3.9.
Yeah. Like, because to your point, it will come up again, and and until we have this annotation thing for minimum CF version, like, what do we do now?
I mean, so I'm tempted to say just like put it in the documentation for the template. The issue with that would be people who just, and I don't know if these people exist, but maybe are applying the library in bulk, right?
Like with customized. Yeah.
Right, or however they're.
I mean, hope not though. I mean, we sometimes we add like new things that might break their cluster, right? Especially this is going into like general.
Right. Yeah. So the unknown is how common. Okay.
Yeah, and they might have to like customize some of the values, like in constraints. So hopefully,
right. Well, I don't think they'd be applying constraints wholesale like the examples necessarily.
Oh, just templates.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know how common these users are, and I don't know how much impact it would necessarily be if, you know, they saw one failing, right? And I think it would fail at apply time. And they would need to find a workaround for that, right? Like how much time would it cost them?
Right. But I think that's the minimum the CT writer or author could do at the moment.
Is
right?
to like put something in the
docs.
comments.
Yeah, comments. Sorry, you meant comments, not the.
Well, the description or whatever for the description
Right.
field for the template. Sorry, I'm speaking loosely.
Right. Why don't I see? Oh. Yeah. So yeah, they could add it to template. Or source rego, I guess, right? Source rego.
Well, the template probably is the so I was thinking. See, what's the actual thing? Is it storage class? It is storage class. Okay.
I think if it's in the source rego, I
was thinking. Okay. Sorry.
No, go ahead. Sorry.
I was thinking annotations description.
Okay.
What is the question? Sense. Sorry, I missed.
So in constraint template, constraint TM template TMPL file, the description, right?
Yeah. So basically, like metadata, annotations,
Yeah.
description, and also spec CRD spec.
Yeah.
Validation. Yeah.
This is to say minimum version is this?
Right.
Okay.
Some comment to help the consumer of that constraint framework. Sorry, constraint template. Man, I can't talk to
Yeah, just something that like surfaces it as visibly as possible.
Okay.
This is in addition to a README in that folder, storage class?
I mean, I would think, like, I wouldn't be opposed to belt and suspenders, but
I mean, either is fine. I mean, I guess the description is harder to see because you have to open the template YAML and then look at it specifically.
right.
Can you see my screen okay?
Yeah.
This is what we're talking about, right?
Yeah, right.
Oh,
I was
okay.
just saying, should we also create a README in that folder? I mean, in the storage class folder.
I see. Doesn't hurt.
Yeah,
Okay. So in that case, should we tell the PR owner to add a README, update this, and then remove it from, or sorry, comment out from test bats until 3.8 is out of support? Are y'all okay with that?
I think the last thing you said looks like we are skipping it, right?
Oh, sorry, skipping. Yes.
Yeah, that one.
Right.
So, I mean, we have to continue doing this, otherwise it will break.
Until
Right.
we remove 3.8. Yes.
Right, yes.
Okay. I think that's reasonable to me. Okay. I take that as an agreement. Anything else you guys have? Anything else on the agenda?
I'll comment with the README.
Okay, sounds good. If not, do we want to do issue triage?
Oh, I had a one question on the, what is it?
Do we still have one fix? Oh, we still have a lot of one fix.
Yeah, I think we need to change one fixes to stale actually. Otherwise, I don't think the stale bot is going to behave accordingly. Because I think it's just going to look at the label that's specified and then it's just going to close those ones. But since we changed the label, then it's not going to close those ones. So we want to,
add a stale label.
Yeah.
Oh no, because it's changed. Sorry. Go ahead.
We may want to do like a mass unlabeled label or something like that.
Huh.
So like select all one fix labels,
Okay.
delete one fix label, add stale label.
You could select all in the top left corner, right? Or is that?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, there's a way to change.
Next to the
you
95
mean like
open?
Like this? Like click on.
Yeah.
And then add stale.
Yeah, so click on that and then click on the.
It needs to be selected first.
Right. Yep.
Oh, okay. Good to know.
So select the on the
Is that all of them, or that's just the first page?
That's just the first page.
Oh, lucky me.
I think it might select all of them. Can you check?
It says 25 selected.
It says 25.
Can you go to the second page? Let's see.
Oh, I see.
And it said like 90, right?
Oh, okay. So we have to do this a few times. Okay. It's
That's
not
better than 95 times, I guess.
Okay. Yeah, and then let's add first and then remove. So stale.
And then
Yeah, and then one fix. Cool.
Oh God.
Magic.
I'm gonna break everything. GitHub, do your thing.
GitHub is down now.
We broke it. Okay. yeah, look at that.
Hey,
All right, okay.
You're gonna get an email from Thomas.
Tom, did he leave MySpace?
No, from Thomas. That's the GitHub CEO.
I didn't say anything. This is being recorded.
I mean, I didn't say anything either. It's a fact.
I asked if Tom from MySpace had moved to GitHub. That's all I said.
Indeed.
No, we are
this
not
is-
grammatically correct there.
This is so fun. So, what y'all do this weekend?
How many more
Uh,
pages?
Probably 2 or 3 more, I'm
Okay,
guessing.
we could write
I
a
think we might be done. It says 20 selected.
Oh,
Or it
okay.
was 25.
Hey,
I mean,
hey,
it
look
wasn't
at
that
that.
bad. Yeah.
All right. Why are there so many? Why? Okay.
The curse of
Yay.
success?
Very positive thinking there. Okay, and we will do least recently updated, right? I think.
Most recently, I would think, except we changed a bunch of labels recently now. So,
Well,
right?
so,
Because
so before this call, I think we had like 20-ish or 15-ish still issues.
Before we begin, I had a quick question
okay.
for Max. For the template generator PR, I
right.
thought we were defaulting to the warn enforcement action. Oh, you already replied.
yeah,
Yes,
I had a number of replies, but it'd be nice to get some clarification on some of these. Yeah, I don't know if that just got forgotten or if we were going to rely on selectors or whatever, but what I hope we can do here is add that work in like a second PR, just because I don't think it's going to change the structure much, and this PR is already kind of large, and it's not going to, assuming we have like sufficient feature gating, it's not going to be impacting people anyway, unless they want to be impacted by it.
Yeah,
So
I'm
as a
okay to
first
do a
one.
follow-up, but do we want to add some E2E to this initial one? So we have like, we're confident on we're not breaking this, or this is not breaking other stuff?
Well, the other stuff already has E2Es, right? So I think we're good on the not breaking other things.
Yeah, I guess breaking the template expansion stuff.
Yeah, I'm neutral on E2Es as a blocking concern. Davis is out. I don't think it's that much work to add E2Es though, right?
I don't think so.
I don't think so.
Yeah.
Because I tried it on my like local machine using kind, and I couldn't get it to work for mutation.
Oh, and those logs were from that attempted kind run.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's where I saw it. And then it wrote an audit, but and I didn't see anything on the webhook one. But obviously, I don't think we are doing the enforcement action. Sounded like.
Right. So you're saying it worked for audit? It did not work for the webhook?
Yeah, it worked for audit. It did not work for webhook because there was no message. I think it's just doing dry run by default.
Well, by default, it should take the same action as the constraint.
Oh, then it didn't work.
And also that message is concerning. That shows us probably some stale code living in there. That's weird though. If it worked for audit, it should work for the webhook.
Well, what's
And
the enforcement action on your constraint?
I don't think I had anything, so deny.
Oh, okay.
So maybe because it was empty, then didn't do anything. I don't know.
What was empty? The enforcement action? that you
Enforcement
said?
action, yeah.
It should still work as because it's just creating a resource and putting it through the exact same stuff as
I don't
a
think I saw
normal.
any code that Davis added that looks at the enforcement action at all.
That's right. You know,
Right.
there was also nothing for templates, so like the constraint templates for testing purposes. I think I saw some mutation tests with Gator, but there was nothing specifically for templates.
With you're saying any kind of testing.
Yeah, so that's what I was sort of like, hey, should we add some E2E so we know that this works?
Mhm.
Gotcha. Yeah, that makes sense.
Because the only test for like that was checking was the mutation tests. And then I tried to duplicate those in my cluster and that didn't work either. These are the Gator tests.
Oh, wait. Oh, I see. I see. So you're saying that
There's no real test.
Yeah, it's the non-Kubernetes Gator tests.
right, like that part I got, the duplicating of the mutation stuff is a
Yeah.
little weird. I'm not sure how you would duplicate that on cluster other than like if you're looking for a deny, I guess.
For mutation, so I think what Davis had was the inputs and like expected output. So in this case, it was like Nginx pod would have like a label and like an owner. So I didn't see that on my cluster. Yeah, if you scroll down, Rita, it's under the thing. Yeah,
This
that one. Yeah. So there's like a basic expansion one that has like two. Yeah. So
Well, the expansions wouldn't actually create objects on the cluster, right?
no, there's a generator one. Rita, if you look at the on the left side, there's like if you go up like 5, there's
one?
generator.yaml. No, up under basic expansion input.
Oh, okay. This
that
one?
Yeah. So
Okay.
that one is a deployment spec.
Right.
So I was expecting that to, so in this example, it's like output is this pod, and then that pod has the annotation owner admin, and image pool policy is always.
That's the annotation. Sorry, that's the mutation.
That's right.
Right. Makes sense.
Well, so that sounds like, because that shouldn't be impacted in either way by expansion, right? That's just whether the mutation
But it's a deployment, not a pod.
The mutation should have added this for the generated pod resource.
That's right.
Right. Well, okay. So I want to be careful when we're talking about generated here. Like,
Or
so
expanded. Yes.
right. Well, yeah. Well, so that's in the bash shell stuff. Yeah, it actually like expands out the resources and shows you what the resultant is. Like bash shell stuff, the Gator command. And as for like requests on cluster, it's going to, the mutator will mutate the pod object if the pod object is attempted to be created and you haven't added the origin selector, right? And said only do this for.
That's a good point. So for this, what was it? What's the mutation? Is it this one? This is the mutator.
They're both mutators. The other one is the
Oh,
same.
but this one's
generated.
this is generated.
Right.
So it should have worked.
Well, it should not have mutated anything on the cluster, right? So source.
But it generated. I thought it applies to the generated resource, whereas
Maybe
the
this
origin
needs to be renamed to expanded then.
Sure.
I think that's the other reason, because I didn't understand it. That's why we need the docs for that one.
So as far as I understood this, there's a generated and then there's the origin
Right.
origin, right?
Yeah.
So the fact that this has generated means it should have worked for the expanded pod, but to your point, Sertaj, it didn't, right?
Yeah, that's my understanding.
Okay, got it.
So It is WAI. There's a disconnect in understanding, I think, rather than functionality. And some of that might be like lack of documentation and the name of this generated key. So definitely, if you could leave that feedback in the PR if that's confusing. But what the source generated matcher is supposed to be doing is, let's say you have a mutator that's mocking the behavior of like an Istio sidecar injector or something like that, right? Where the point isn't that you actually want stuff that's on the cluster to be mutated, it's that you want like defaulting to be applied appropriately or whatever for the resources that have gotten expanded by this template expansion stuff, right? And the way to do that would be to create a mutator that does whatever sort of changes you're looking for. And because you only want those to apply at like the time when you're creating these pretend objects, not to the real objects, because again, something else is doing that, you put this matcher in there, and that limits the scope of where the mutator will be applied. Does that make sense? I felt like it was a bit circular, but
that's what I understood as well, right? So given this expansion template, this is saying for all deployments, expand the pod stuff, right? And then given this mutator for generated components of pod kind, add this metadata. That's how I understood what this is trying to do. So
yes.
Given this, okay, cool. So then given this deployment, what I expect is the output should be the same deployment, but here add the admin metadata.
You're thinking it should mutate the deployment.
That's right.
That's not currently how that would work.
I mean, I was expecting the pod would be mutated. So like this would be the resulting thing.
But the pod, this is a little, output is a little weird because it's like, how do you interpret output, right? Do you interpret output as like,
well, this is for the Gator command where
part of deployment? I don't know. Yeah.
I interpret output as in like that's the resulting objects created from the deployment.
It's no, output is literally the output of the Gator command, right?
Yeah.
So
that's the confusion part. Yeah. It's what does the
but I don't think deployment was edited also. I don't think the deployment was mutated.
Correct. And it shouldn't have been the way the logic is set up, right? That
so then this expanding generator feature does not work for mutation. Does not work for gatekeeper and mutation. Yeah.
One, because it doesn't have to, right? I would argue because the point of the expansion stuff is to reject early, right? And mutators don't reject, right? So you're still going to get your mutated pod one way or another, right? It could be interesting to mutate maybe the source, but
I get your point. Like sort of like this is more for the validating scenario. For mutating, you don't need this in order to mutate the pod level things off of the deployment, for example.
I see. So I basically got confused because there's like the mutation objects in there, and then we have a template expansion. So I thought the resulting would be the output at the end.
Yeah, because we're reusing mutator. Yeah.
This is all of this, remember, is in the test/gator/expand, right? So this is just for the Gator command. So when you're talking about would change the output, it would for the Gator command.
No, now it makes more sense. But at the time when I was looking at it, I thought it would also apply to it.
Yeah. If we want to workshop the keys, and also there is documentation. Davis is out this week, but he was working on documentation for the features, so maybe that will help it make more sense.
Yeah, I think the documentation would definitely help with this. Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, so it not mutating is kind of expected. It not being rejected is less so.
Yeah, let me double check.
Okay. Shall we do this asyncly? I think we
Yeah.
I think we got to the bottom of it, right? I mean, sort of. I mean, at least we clarified our understanding
Yeah.
enough that we can work on it asyncly.
Yeah, that makes sense.
All right, with 16 minutes to go, shall we?
Yeah.
Okay. Wait.
Or did we want to go from like least recently updated, because that would avoid the relabeled stuff?
This is least. This is least.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Never mind.
No worries. Yes.
Something goes wrong when compiling constraint templates. Users get an opaque. The request is invalid. I don't know if that's us. That might be
OPA?
kubectl.
Oh.
Maybe. Honestly, there's not much context in this bug for me to know the path here. I think this is a kubectl thing.
Okay, but we do want to follow up, right?
Yeah. I don't know. This is one example of a regression with our like rejecting things on compilation errors. Yeah, if someone wants to figure out what actually is this bug, like the steps to reproduce and when it's true, but without that context, it's hard to know how seriously to
And
take
you think this is a bug, not an enhancement, right? Or does it matter? I don't know.
I mean, it's
Okay, whatever.
It's not a great UX.
Yeah.
So but it's not like incorrect behavior. So
Right.
so whether that's bug,
then that counts. I think that counts as enhancement because it's not intended. Sorry, it is not a known issue, I guess.
Yeah, it's makes people angry. It doesn't make the product misbehave.
So are we okay with this?
Yeah.
Okay.
I haven't seen people complain about it. Is the other interesting thing. If they're just reusing templates from the library, I wouldn't expect them to get those errors often.
I see.
This is still useful. I think, didn't we say at some point if there's some way we can put like the roadmap stuff for Gator command?
Gator
I think I was talking about this last week. Yeah,
Gator
like
beta. Yeah,
I
these are
wish
all
there's a
part
way
of.
we could like insulate these from like being visible to us, right? Until we specifically are like, I want to develop on the Gator command. What are some missing features? You know, like
Right. I mean, we could take one of our calls and just go through Gator beta and prioritize things.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
They would still sort of like stay on the back burner for probably a year.
Right.
Um,
Or like we can create like another and like if for things that are nice to have, maybe remove them from this milestone, right? For example.
yeah. Or
Do we want to
like
help
the only
wanted?
thing. What's up?
Help wanted or
I really I think what I'm looking for is like a command that filters out these issues from like our backlog of issues, right? But doesn't delete them.
I think this is where like the priorities label come in. And so we could maybe define what that looks like right now if you want, and then we can use it. So for example, I don't know, I'm just thinking out loud, right? Like P0 could be, we must have this, right? P1 is like nice to have or something like that. Or maybe P2 is nice to have and P1 is we should have it, but it can wait. I don't know.
Right. It's not actively burning.
Right.
P0 is someone should be looking at this
Right.
and keep looking at
Yeah.
it until it's done. Right.
Yeah. P0 should be like, oh, we need this like in the next few releases at a minimum. And then P1 is like, we should have this, but it's not burning. And then P2 is like, we don't know, nice to have. I don't know.
Yeah. Okay. Then I would put this as, I guess, P2.
Okay, let me create the P stuff. Are y'all okay with this? Should important to
Yeah, like, and when triaging things, I guess like issue type, bug versus feature and priority, right? Like a bunch of like features that we could implement in the backlog doesn't concern me. That's just like a good thing.
Oh, how
right?
about
Because
this?
that
How
means
about
there's
how about
stuff we
important?
can do.
Oh, how about must have, should have, nice have, nice have? Does that work?
I mean, would we want to align with Kubernetes? So it's like this, Kubernetes.
Okay.
Oops.
It's like what on Kubernetes?
I'm trying to get the labels 1 second. That's probably easy. This link, if you can click on it. Yeah.
Critical, urgent. Oh yeah, let's do this. I like it.
Hey.
So we don't reinvent the wheel there.
But backlog is kind of high.
Yeah, we
priority
can skip that one.
Okay, so which one do we want? Important long-term.
Yeah, critical, urgent.
Soon.
Yeah, important soon. Important long-term is like it's important, but maybe in the future, right? Soon is obviously sooner. Backlog is more like.
I think what we have now is backlog.
Yeah, so we can just skip that, I guess.
Okay, so priority.
This is backlog, yeah, and then I guess
So
like other
critical,
things.
urgent.
Yeah, I think needs priority is the
long.
backlog in Kubernetes. So until you assign something. And then awaiting more evidence is like needs justification. Yeah, I'm okay with just those 3 ones. Critical, urgent.
Which one? Okay.
Critical, urgent, important, long-term, important, sooner.
So like something like nice to have, is that important long-term?
Yeah.
But it may not be important long-term either.
I think then it would be priority backlog.
That's why I was thinking like
it
must
says that-
have, should have, and nice to have.
Yeah, I mean, we can't change that. I mean, that's also okay.
Because I think this conveys something different, because this is saying it's important, but it's long-term. But nice to have doesn't actually mean we must have it, right? It's not as critical, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, in this, the Kubernetes case, the nice to have would go in the backlog.
Well, I mean, and what's the priority in reference to, right? Like, so Gator command itself, right, has a certain level of priority, I would imagine, relative to Gatekeeper, right? And so if something is like, if we work on Gator, we work on this first, right? Would be like maybe must have with respect to Gator, but
Right.
nice to have with respect to.
Oh yeah, it's all relative because Gator has its own label also, right? So it's the Gator CMD label and the priority.
Yeah. So we can set the priority based on the label, I guess, the category.
Right. I mean, we don't have to make up a new label for that. It's the same one. Yeah, I'm okay. Any of them are fine with me. We can do like the must have, nice to have. That's also clear. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, for this one in particular, I would say it's like, meh. Like it's useful, but it's not the most important thing I would add to Gator.
Priority meh.
So are
Right?
y'all
Like it
Thought.
saves some boilerplate, which is nice.
Yeah.
so are y'all okay with something like this?
Yeah, that's fine.
Priority must have, and then priority should have, and then nice to have. Is that
Sure.
okay?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because I mean, I like this at first, but then it doesn't actually convey what we want to convey, unfortunately. Right? Okay.
Priority, take my money.
Priority, can you help?
Priority, if someone wants it badly enough, can
Yeah, priority
can,
DIY.
like write it. Was it?
Priority DIY.
Look, what did I say? Nice to have. Is that right?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Cool. Coming back.
So then this would
to-
be nice to have.
I think so. Triage. Nice to have. And then it's triaged, right?
Yep.
Good.
Yep.
Okay. Now you realize we have to go back to all the old ones and add priority to it. Jeez.
Well, for the ones that we don't like let close, right?
Yeah. But we have a lot of triage things that we have to backfill.
Yeah, but it's also
Yeah.
hard to assess the priorities of some of them.
Oh, Windows compatible. Nice. to
Oh, I
have?
think we have it actually. I
Wait,
think we
what?
just
Oh,
The word guarantee, I don't think
Yeah.
we want to like do we want to guarantee Windows compatibility,
So
i.e.
should-
have ongoing testing, and
so we just
if
say
there's a
should
problem,
open-
no. That's the keyword, guarantee one.
Okay.
I mean, so today I think we had the Windows bills. We took them out because we didn't know if anybody would want them or asked if anybody's asking.
Yeah,
about
we
them.
opened this issue so that others can +1, and we haven't gotten it.
Yeah, so I mean, I don't at this
So we
point.
just close it.
Yeah, like
Are y'all okay with if I?
Yeah.
This was open like almost a year ago.
yeah, sounds like if nobody's interested.
Closing this since we have not seen any interest.
And in Stalebot, we'll do these things, right? That's kind of the point of it.
Yeah, I know, but I want to close it so we don't have to come back and look at it again.
I mean, we have to give 5 more days.
Or it could be 5 more seconds. You know.
Okay. Anyway, I'm making a decision. I don't care what y'all say.
Executive decision.
All right. Oh, wait.
Close.
Not this one. Okay. Actually, we have 1 minute left.
Okay, pick a good one.
I think this was the other one. That's the thing.
Oh, 313. What?
Whoa. REST API.
Oh, they want the OPA, like, you know, if you were to run OPA as a standalone server, it has a REST API. What's the end of this thread? Like, what did this evolve into? This is an awful lot of comments.
But how is this Gator?
It's definitely not.
I mean,
What's the?
you said another advantage of Gator dump.
1385. No, that's not. What's the bug number? Sorry, it's a little too small for me to.
1365.
65.
Oh, looks like they're trying to access open metrics.
Okay, and then the conversation turned into about tracing.
Yeah,
and
somebody
then
else was interested in the data that
it kept changing.
Yeah.
Cool. I do know that we provide runtime for tests in Gator Test.
Sorry, what do you mean by runtime?
Like the execution time, like the literal amount.
Okay.
Of time.
I see.
Yeah.
I see. The metric. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Maybe that's why you mentioned this. Accessing a live gatekeeper instance. But would the metric given by Gator be different from like an actual execution on the cluster? It could, right?
It could be. And yeah, there is room now that we have now that we have more control over the execution flow to try to add a little bit more data here. Like per constraint runtime, for instance, if you wanted to diagnose why is my admission webhook slow for this particular request, there's a lot of text here, so I don't know if I'm going to be able to like up why they are intent on an OPA level of API access, which I think would involve essentially dumping the state of
So they are. This is about in cluster though. The original post was about in cluster.
Yeah, and I think it may continue that a single typo screws up the whole testing data. I currently report back a violation, so then copy it to the playgrounds. I see observability as a larger problem in this case, since it gives us potential to explore Gatekeeper and teach people how to use Gatekeeper properly, debugging eventually consistent cache with sprintf is also a nightmare. Yeah, and then they say, I may be mistaken here, but I prefer an application that's open by default. I'm not sure what that means with regard to like directly querying
Yeah.
OPA. Yeah. In some ways, like kind of not relevant because the execution model is different than how OPA works, right? So we couldn't expose the same knobs with the same data even if we wanted to.
I do have to run. Should we just at least get rid of stale first? That way we can come back to it.
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely something with regard to like profiling, optimization, debugging that's useful in this. The overall suggestion of somehow having an endpoint that lets you query the internals of Gatekeeper, I'm far less sold on, because that's
Is there a
pretty
priority?
big security hole.
Nice to have.
Well, with these sorts of tickets, I'm just kind of concerned people take the original request literally.
Should we just close it and then say, hey, if you have different requests, create a new issue?
Yeah, maybe the thing is to create a new issue around, unless we already have this, debugging via Gator, and then let this go stale unless someone recomments it. Let's see.
Perhaps create a new issue linking to like a comment, like at a specific thing.
Yeah. Like some of the stuff we talk about, like something like Gator dump against the test case, right?
Okay.
Because I think some of this is people looking for examples of the shapes of things so that they can write rego policy against them.
Okay. So can one of you create the issue that points to this, and then do you want to just close it then?
Yeah, I could do that.
Okay. Awesome. Thank you. That's great
Thank you.
seeing y'all. Bye.
See you, everyone.